would be the easy way of doing it. It's probably too long for short, but I just got a copy of Weldon's stitching guide or shilling guide, Weldon's shilling guide for practical to fancy work, and it's got stocking knitting crewel work, applique, macrame, embroidery, jeweled embroidery, linen embroidery, knitting, patchwork, crochet, netting, cross stitch, macrame lace, smocking and tatting, beadwork, and there's 341 illustrations apparently. I have already read this book on archive sites, but I have never actually got my hands on one, so I'm very excited about that. And I've already found some funny things. We found a fisherman's cap, which I thought was quite fun. And I love the idea of that. I'll see if I can find it. Nope, that's stocking heel. There we... no. Is that it? No. Wow, this is riveting, I'm sure. Not. I can't be bothered to go back and find that. It will be around. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there is. I think this is crochet. I think it's a crochet little fisherman's hat. Thought that was fun. I've never done a live before, so you'll have to excuse me. Nobody's watching anyway. I'm just waffling to myself, so that's all right, innit? I'm sure that people can watch it back later. I'm not sure. I've never done this before, but I was wittering for too long for short, so I thought I'd come on here. And there's a little macrame or macrame pocket watch pocket, which I like the idea of. That sounds like fun. Gosh, I'm saying a lot. You can tell I've never done this before, can't you? There's all sorts of embroidery patterns. I'm sure this would be easier if I had like a top-mounted camera and you could see what I see, but again, not that technologically advanced. I'm just excited and I'm making it everyone else's problem. There's some lovely little patchwork guides. Oh. Apparently that is a sofa cushion. Oh, could you imagine that in Christmas fabric? That would be so cute. I do not need another Christmas project. I have too much going on, and they're all different embroidery stitches as well. Oh. These are amazing. I'm probably never going to do most of these, but you know what? I absolutely love the fact that there are so many different crafts here. It's just, they're beautiful. The illustrations are just beautiful. I think, actually, the Engineering Knits might have done something with a Weldon's book before. I'm almost certain that her tatting video was based on a Weldon's book. So that's fun. But yeah. It has little adverts in it as well for different things that they do. I'm going to have so much fun with this. I bought this because of the stocking knitting things. I've got a lot of stocking patterns that are online, but I like to have something I can reference in person because I get a lot of visual fatigue if I look at a screen. So I thought it was quite exciting. But there is patterns for a knitted petticoat in here. Some of these are absolutely gorgeous. And then we have lots of text. It's very text heavy and the text is absolutely minuscule. I think that I'm going to have to read this with a magnifying glass. I have relatively good eyesight with my glasses on, but I would struggle with that even with like my reading lamp on. But they have these really, really beautiful illustrations teaching you how to do things like knitting stitches, which is kind of amazing. Oh wow, there's somebody from Iran watching. Hello. Thank you, that's very sweet. Hello, Armin Tech. I do hope I'm not pronouncing your name wrong. Yes, these are lovely. Knitted kneecaps in red wool. I've seen this a lot in Victorian patterns where they knit covers for your knees. And I'm assuming that's probably because like your chemise and your stockings, they generally have like a knee-shaped gap between them. And also the Victorians had a thing with their health where they believed that like getting cold would make you ill, which is, I can see where they're coming from in the days before central heating, but they kind of come at it a little bit left field, and they're really concerned about people being warm enough, which is fair enough, you know, being cold, and also bearing in mind for a lot of the Victorian era they are in a mini ice age. But this is knitted bloomers for a child. I'm not convinced by that one. That does not seem most practical for infants, but I suppose we have knitted leggings, don't we? So it's probably about the same. I think what they're calling drawers is maybe... Oh, we've got a slightly loose page there, but be careful. Oh, I might have to get this to one of my paper conservator friends. I know a little bit about paper conservator and bookbinding, but it's not my specialism. My specialism is textiles, case in point. But I do have a friend who's a creative museum up in Aberdeen who I actually studied with, who does paper conservation, so I'm probably going to hit him up for some information. But yes, mostly I bought this book for its stocking knitting patterns. I've got a really, really detailed guide going through all sorts of ways to knit stockings, all these different toes, different ways of doing the heels. I'm very, oh no, this page, oh dear, maybe I should stop wiggling this book around quite so enthusiastically. Oh well. I do feel with books that unless it's like incredibly rare and precious and ancient, that they are supposed to be used. But yeah, they've got all different ways of doing heel configurations as well, with really detailed engravings. This is lovely because so often with Victorian knitting manuals, it's very text heavy and very light on illustrations. So I think that's why the Weldon guides were popular in their time. I mean, thousands of copies of these were sold to multiple editions through a number of decades. The seller reckoned that this one was around 1890s, although I actually haven't checked, nor have I referenced or researched it particularly, so I cannot confirm that date. I haven't done any of my own research, but just judging by the style of the illustrations and the way they're saying things and some of the fashions that I'm seeing, I would agree and say that it's around the 1890s. So it's kind of wild that this book is over 100 years old. But yeah, absolutely delightful. Very interesting, and no doubt this will emerge on my channel again at another point, but I thought that it might be nice to do my first ever live and show people. At one point we had a whole 7 people watching, which, riveting content, clearly. Oh wow! I see, look, these are, I've never even seen. I've been crocheting for years and I spend a great deal of time on Pinterest, and I've never ever seen a thistle pattern done in crochet. That's amazing. So I can show you. That is all thistle patterns. How lovely. So hopefully the next time I examine a book, it will be slightly less ad-lib and I'll be able to show you from above, maybe. I don't know if people enjoy this. But yes, thank you very much for the people who did tune in. It's a bit random, it's not very organised. I do apologise for that. I have never done this before. I am learning as I go along, and I do love a good monologue. It's probably why I'm a YouTuber. So yes, thank you very much for tuning in. I do recommend looking at the Weldons. There's quite a lot on archive.com and stuff like that people have scanned in. I'm going to double check that this particular edition has been scanned in. If it hasn't, I will add it to the archives. And I will do an update probably on my community page or something. But yes, thank you very much for watching, and I will maybe do this again sometime, and see you anon. Now, how the bloomin' heck do I end this? Do I just click the X? I don't know what I'm doing. Yes, I do want to stop streaming. Thank you, YouTube.